Take the poster off, bro. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Brothers and sisters, welcome to another episode of Dawah Hour. Alhamdulillah. Jazakumullah khairan, all of you, for joining us. And please continue to share and like and subscribe and share and all the rest of that stuff. Yeah. Let people know. Let me introduce my beautiful co-hosts. Got with me Brother Nadeem. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam wa rahmatullah.
Sheikh Salahuddin. Assalamu alaikum.
No shake here, milkshake. Wa alaikum salam.
Milkshake Salahuddin. And Mufti Sab, Johnny.
A'udhu billah. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Fake Mufti.
Definitely, that's given, brother.
All right, I don't know if you guys watched the show before this, Sheikh Green's e-reminders. So Sheikh Green has okay, so alhamdulillah, you know, like a lot of people have come and been involved in Dawah because of the work from Sheikh Green, to be honest with you, right? Abdurrahim Green, right? And, I'm not trying to cut his neck in a way of overpraising or anything like that, but we had the sad news that his mum passed away yesterday in her sleep. Sadly, she didn't take her shahada. But I really, really strongly advise you all to watch the show that he just did, the e-reminders that he did. You'll find it on Stream Islam. And some of the things that he said, bro, mashallah, tabarakallah. It reminded me of when my dad passed away a few years ago now, a couple of years now. And it just reminded me of some of the things that he said, just reminded me of some of the things that I was going through and, you know, feelings I had when dad passed as well. So, but yeah, I really strongly remind you all to check that show out. Really powerful, alhamdulillah. And may Allah give him sabr. May Allah reward him for all the hard work and looking after his mum and everything that he's done. All right, guys, let's begin the show, inshallah. All right. Yeah, subhanallah. Okay, what's the show on? What we doing, guys? Oh yeah, there it is. So we are continuing with the A to Z of Street Dawah. All right, brothers and sisters, A to Z of Street Dawah. We're on the letter T, and what we've been doing, guys, is, as you probably know, who's been tuning into the show, and I can see, mashallah, sisters, brothers and sisters, already in the comments, Nadeem, man. Already in the comments, you can see these comments coming in still already, yeah? They're already putting the T's in, all right? Not the TT, but they're putting the T's in for the letters, for the words. So what we've been doing, guys, is we've been doing the Street Dawah, the A to Z of Street Dawah, and we take a letter from the alphabet. We're going through the whole alphabet. Take the letter, and we ascribe a word that relates to Street Dawah to it. All right. So, alhamdulillah. Nadeem, are you still there? Because you look like you're frozen. All right, you're there.
No, I'm here, bro. I'm here.
All right. So, we did S last week, and we did S the week before. Now we're on to T. All right. So, let's kick it off. Who wants to kick it off?
Nadeem bhai.
Yeah, I don't mind. I've got a few, inshallah. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. There's some really good comments as well. Like, yeah, in fact, some of them are adding all of them in one comment. So the show will be over in just one comment. But yeah, I've got a few here. I would say, let me start with transparent. So when you're on the Dawah stall, you know, we've kind of covered it before, but you know, some of these words are repetitive and it's good to refresh it. So you need to be transparent, brothers and sisters, that we have nothing to hide. Islam is there, we have nothing to hide. We don't have a secret weird agenda or nothing. If somebody asks, for example, oh, you know, like sometimes on the stall, on the Street Dawah, you get the comment like, oh, you're trying to convert me, aren't you? Instead of saying, well, no, I say, yes, yeah, mate. And then obviously don't just say yes, you have to substantiate, you explain why. So even though they think, oh, I know what this is, you're offering these cupcakes or you're offering this free juice because you want us to, you know, accept Islam. I go, well, of course, yeah, because do you not want to accept the truth? Do you not want to live the whole purpose of why you exist, etc., etc.? So be transparent. There's nothing to hide, and you know, again, be yourself as well. So if you're not, like, some brothers like to be academic minded, they use a lot of references from certain books. If that's not you, then don't try and be that. Just be yourself. If you're, if I was to give my example, I'm a grassroots guy. I'm a street guy. I'm a very basic guy. Alhamdulillah, simple guy. So I'm not going to pretend something I'm not. We've all been there. It's nice to pretend to be like your ustads and your teachers and your trainers, but people work it out. They'll see through that. People are clever, on the streets. But yeah, anything else on transparent, brothers? If you want to add anything,
brothers, transparency. Good stuff. Good way to kick off the show, man. Transparency. What are your thoughts, Salahuddin?
Yeah, Bismillah. I think, alhamdulillah. I think especially with the Dawah in the UK, we have to look at things in context, especially with, people generally don't like being preached to or preached at because of the history of sort of Christianity and Christian preachers.
What people call Bible bashers, right?
Bible bashers, yeah. So, it basically puts people off. So being transparent, I think, definitely helps with that in terms of, you're trying to be genuine and trying to connect to that person. And so making it clear, you're not going to sort of trick people, So
Yep.
being transparent is definitely an important aspect of when giving dawah.
All right, good. Alhamdulillah. Johnny.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Yeah, I mean, that's the most important thing. So that you be yourself. This is the characteristic of a believer. Like you don't fake yourself. I mean, that's the main thing, because the thing is, like Nadeem Bhai said, people work it out. They find out that it's not coming from your heart. Like I seen that a few days ago, Nadeem Bhai posted something like, if it is not coming from your heart, then get ready for like a lot of acting. So we don't want to be an actor. We want to be real people, and Islam is all about keeping it real. That's the things.
Keeping it real, bro. That's what the Dawah is all about. Yeah, keep it real. Yeah.
Absolutely.
No, bro. I think it's a really good one to kick off with. There's a comment here by Sister Niyama who says, "Yes, people will see through your lies. People can be fooled, but many already can read you, so they will know your intentions and what you're planning. So just be transparent." Awesome, Nadeem. I agree, Brian. I really agree, subhanAllah, that this is the important part of our dawah, is that we should be clear. This is what the dawah is about. Don't be, this is what we're here for. This is what we're doing. And, even in your speech, even in the things that people ask you, you've got to be transparent and clear in. Now, practically speaking, Nadeem, we've got to remember sometimes people can come onto the stall and they'll try and, what's the word I'm looking for? They'll try and give you loaded questions, right? And try and trick you, so you might say something where they can turn that into a viral video, right? So how do we deal with things like that, bro? If we're trying to be transparent in that sense as well.
Well, I mean, yeah. Can you give an example? Any specific example?
I would say, for example, right, you've got these people who are haters of Islam, and or even just people who have a chip on their shoulder with Islam, and they might come onto the stall and they might try and make you say something that where they can, they can trap you into something. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yes. So now, look, I get it. So look, this is obviously we are dictated by the Quran, and of course when Allah says in the Quran, call to Allah with wisdom, hikmah, bil hikmah, and a lot of brothers, they forget this bit. We're using wisdom, hikmah. I think, to be honest, bro, I think that will only come with experience, because when brothers and sisters they go through training, whether it's online or face to face, and they're really eager to get in the dawah because they've been motivated by a trainer, they're really up for it, and they're boosted. They go out there and you just want to all that information pass on, and in the enthusiasm and the excitement, you just say anything and anything. So I think you just need to I think with experience, bro, I'll be honest. The more you do the stall, because this is why if you're going to commit to the dawah, commit for lifetime. Don't commit just for one day because you saw a poster, IRA poster, dawah training by Brother Murtaza Chowdhury or Salahuddin, and I'm going to go down because I've got nothing to do, some free food, free munch down the mosque, and I'll probably go down the stall and that's it. No, make it a lifetime commitment. So when you have a lifetime commitment, inshallah, for Allah, then the more stores you do, you pick up experience,
Yeah.
and that's how you naturally become the kind of people you're going to deal with. And I don't know about you, but I can kind of work intuition that this guy just want to play
I was about to say that.
time.
I was
Yeah,
about to say
there
that.
there are definitely people like that. Absolutely.
I was going to say, bro, yeah.
Yeah.
Because like as you get more experience, you kind of, and I'm not saying you're judging people, but you kind of get a feeling and an inkling of what type of people are, or what type of people are out there. Like you can tell, guys, you can tell a genuine person from a person who's not genuine at all, right? And so I would say we tailor our dawah also to those individuals as well.
Yeah. Don't be
Like,
naive. Don't be naive. Yeah.
People who are not genuine, who just really are trying to hate. Like we've had, subhanAllah, we've had EDL come on our store before here in Newcastle before. And it's like, I know they don't want an intellectual discussion or a good discussion, but I still will engage with them in a different way than I would someone else, right? And I think that's what it is definitely experience, bro. I think that's a good way of dealing with it, alhamdulillah. All right, let's move on. Let's move on to another T, yeah? I've got one. It's the only one that we wrote down, right? So the one I had is T is for training. All right, brothers and sisters. Get involved in dawah. Get the dawah going. And I'm not sure if this is obligatory for your dawah, but I think it's so important to be trained or have some sort of training, dawah training. And I'm sure Salahuddin's going to, do a shameless plug, right, on training, right? But yeah, absolutely. Training is so important. And what I mean by training, like train your arguments, train even how to give dawah, train on learning the fiqh of dawah, train, understanding what the call is, what characteristics you should have as a caller, what the individuals are called, those who you're calling to, what kind of individuals and dispositions that those individuals may have as well, yeah? So training is very, very important. And you know something as well, I would say this as well when it comes to training, is that I would rather people make their mistakes and people, learn in a closed environment first before they go out there and do it as an open, right? But not only that, guys, and like if there's no training going on around you, you can do training on the job, right? Training on the job is like go there, go to the dawah stall, and I'm giving practical ways on doing this, right? Go to the stall, shadow people, shadow other individuals, shadow those who are a bit more experienced, and see how they do things as well. So I think this is all part of your training. I think it's very, very important, brothers and sisters, that you do get training before you start giving dawah. Salahuddin, your thoughts, bro?
Yeah, Bismillah. So obviously, from our experience, we know this is an essential part of the dawah, right?
Yeah.
I would say it's essential to be trained and to follow a recognized or sort of structured course. People who have experience in not just doing dawah, but have also developed training, so obviously we know the one that we know is obviously 𝐅𝐼R's famous trademark Go Rap training, which you can find on the website 𝐼RA.org/training, and you can basically go there and you can go through the online training, and on that it will cover all of these essential elements that Sohail was talks about motivation, the importance of doing dawah, what the rewards are linked to doing dawah, why it's so important, why it's so necessary. And then getting into the actual dawah itself, like what do you need before you can even begin, engaging, which is, like you said, the characteristics, the akhlaq, and then getting into the actual arguments itself, following a logical, structured, way of basically presenting Islam in a way that's logical, rational, that people can understand. It's simple, and so that you're achieving the main objective of you going out and doing dawah, which is inviting people to Islam. Because so many people have gone out there and tried to sort of do dawah, and they're stuck because they don't know what to speak about, right? And so it's very important. So the Go Rap does that. You have God's existence, oneness, revelation, and prophet, with the four elements, the main elements of explaining Islam. So 100%. And Go Rap is not the only training. There's many training courses out there, and it's important that even if you're trained on one, that you train yourselves on multiple different types of training, because you need them for different situations, inshallah.
Yeah,
So
look, I would say as well with training is that you're never going to stop learning, guys. I think it's important that you're always developing yourself. Even as a da'i, you develop yourself. You continuously develop yourself. You develop your skills. And yeah, the 𝐅𝐼R Dawah training gives you a good foundation to start with, and you build on that. You build on those foundations that you learn in the course itself. So yeah, training definitely. Nadeem, your team motivation. I know training is a big part of the stuff that you Dawah motivation. I know training is a big part of the thing that you do. Tell me a little bit about what your thoughts are on this one.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I was just thinking, just listening to what Salahuddin is saying. In my experience, sometimes brothers and sisters, they wait. Training it's very critical. It's crucial. But I would also say don't wait until training until you get a chance. So if you have a chance to go to the stall or call to Allah, sometimes it's a bit similar to the knowledge thing we did. Like, until I get some knowledge, there's no way I'm going to go to that table. I would say some of the best brothers and sisters who've been very effective with Dawah is those that they put themselves out there, go to stalls, 1 or 2 stalls, and then they attend a training. I think you get far more from the training, much more, because you've actually experienced a bit of it. The outdoors, the random strangers amongst the brothers. I always say feel the air. So, for example, when brothers, I went to Banbury again in Oxfordshire, and there's a much more new brothers, younger brothers there. And although some of them are very cheeky, confident, and I said, okay, I'll say you seem cheeky, you seem very confident, mate. And they go, yeah, giving all the large, and I go, well, all right. So after this, we're gonna go to Sound Centre, High Street, and we're gonna engage with strangers. They go, huh? What? No, bro. They start freaking out. So I said, look, all you have to do is literally all I want you to do is we're gonna go there. One of the brothers is kindly gonna get coffees for everyone. There's a Cafe Nero, mashallah. I just want you to get a coffee and just stand around. Just feel the air of the Dawah around you.
That's nice.
You just feel the atmosphere, feel the brotherhood. What's the interaction? I can almost guarantee, inshallah, bidnillah, it's going to be the best days of your life. Even if you never come back again, you're being around du'at, callers to Allah. It's a beautiful experience. It's going to be an amazing afternoon for you. And we were there for 2 hours. And Qadr Allah, we had lots of conversations that day, alhamdulillah, with Sikhs, with Christians, all sorts. It was just one of those days. So, brothers and sisters, I would say training is critical. And then once you experience that, whether it's street dawah or obviously we're talking about street dawah now, then you go training. It's very important. And then training, like you guys said, go up. It's mashallah very profound. It's amazing. We talked about Sheikh 𝐅𝐑𝐿 earlier. He's a great architect of the go up, mashallah. And I'm still using it. I think it's very effective. And once you because it talks about the foundation of Islam. It doesn't. You don't waste your time going to different tangents. This brings you back to the whole point of what we're talking about. Allah, His oneness. He deserves all praise and worship. So, brothers and sisters, do not wait until I'll tell. Let's say the next training is there's a training in 6 months' time, but then there's dawah happening in your local center, in your mosque, Ramadan, street dawah, whatever. Don't say no, I can't do it yet. No, I've got no training. No, don't think like that. Yeah. Go there, and I want to say one thing. Although I'm a big fan of training, a lot of us from the 90s, we didn't have any training then. We just experiential. Go out there.
It was so true.
There
was no training back then. There was no training back then, bro. We just made the mistake.
Train on the job, as you said, right? Training on the job. So,
but bro, back in the days, you could say a lot of different things.
Yeah, anything you want, bro. Anything you want, subhanAllah. Yeah. But but at the same time, I'll say going out there, experiencing it before the training will actually make you look forward to the training. And then when you get the training, it just finesses everything, alhamdulillah. So yeah.
I like that. That's interesting. I like that. Listen, guys, we've got some guests coming on, alhamdulillah. All right, so let's take
before we get the guest, there's a really big one I just saw, Samis, which is so important. How can we miss that? Tawheed. Well, we can talk that in a minute, inshallah.
No, go on, do it.
T for Tawheed.
What are we doing, bro?
Well done, Samis.
Cancel the show, man. Turn it off now.
Shout out to Samis to bring up Tawheed, mashallah.
Turn it off, man. We're done, bro. We're done. How can we not do? Look at you, all three of you. What's wrong with you?
Hang your head in shame.
Do it. It's shameful, man. How can we not start with Tawheed? Anyway. Oh my goodness.
80 better be watching this.
Oh my goodness. How do we do that, bro?
I actually had it on my list. I put it. I did have it on my list.
I think
Don't
you're
even
building up.
try that now. Don't even try that now. I had it on my list.
He's building up to it. No.
Where was it on your list? Don't give me this, right? Either don't do this either. Where was it on your list?
In the private chat, you'll find in the private chat.
Go away, Salahuddin. Go away. I've got with us Abu Umar. Abu Umar, your lighting is so bad. No offense, bro.
Assalamu alaikum. Well, I just put my kid to sleep, so
all right, it's all right. I couldn't see. I'm like, who is that in there, right? MashaAllah. Abu Umar, assalamu alaikum. How are you, akhi?
Alhamdulillah. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Alhamdulillah, always good. Alhamdulillah. Rabbil Alameen.
All right. Abu Umar, give me your tea today, please.
Okay, the tea for today is actually tactics and technique, which have something very important, something called tools. And I have a phrase for it: tools to transmit truth and trigger thought out thinking.
Okay, so, you need to break that down because there's a lot of keys in that. Yeah.
Okay. Now, in your action on the street, you have people that you talk to, and then they go away. A lot of those people, if you try to study them, you find that they go away and they think that, well, I had a very nice entertainment at that stall, and that's it, you know? So what we need is, there is another point, like if someone now in the chat said, I want to take the Shahada, we all will jump, please, yes, I want to give the Shahada. That's our feelings talking, right? But our minds, it says, we want you to use your mind to investigate, to read the Quran, to question the Quran, to challenge the Quran, and be sure that you accept Islam, you know? And that's what we want. We want people, when they move out from the stall, they go back home or back to their lives, we want them to rethink and keep thinking about the things that they talk about. So tools, for example, I have a brother, he wants to stay anonymous. His situation is a very bad situation, but he approached me and he said he wanted to do something. So we kind of talked about, you know, the roll-up stands. I don't know if you know about the roll-up stands. It's a stands about like 80 plus centimeters by 10 by 10, and then you pull it up, it becomes a stand of 2 meters high.
A roller banner, like a roller banner.
Yeah, a banner. Yeah. So he's going to push his situation to collect a little bit of money. We have contacted a company in East Yorkshire. We got a code to print it out and deliver it to London. But he needs some time to collect the money. And we came together and we made a design. So I don't know if I can, for example, that's something like what's the meaning of life in several of languages with a QR code. So anybody scans that QR code to take him to a channel called Talk Islam. They have a video with the same name. I love that video. I think that each and everyone should share that video at least once on all social media that he's in. This video should travel the whole world. So that's an idea that, you know, even if he doesn't talk to you, if he scan and see that video, it would trigger questions, trigger marks in his, question marks in his head. Later on, he will think about it and he will go deeper in investigating Islam.
Yeah.
I took so much time. I'm so sorry. I always do, right?
Fine. Alhamdulillah. I think we got it, inshallah. Jazakallah khair. So there's a lot to be taken from what you've said there. Alhamdulillah. But I think definitely tactics, tools, all of that kind of thing, techniques, all of that counts. Alhamdulillah. Jazakallah khair, Abu Umar.
Thank you very much, brother.
No problem, inshallah. We'll go to another guest, inshallah. Brother Hassan, can you take us to another guest? Who do we have? Who we got? A. Who's A? Talk Dawah. Assalamu alaikum.
Talk, brother. Talk Dawah to us.
Alaikum salam. Listen, I just noticed, so Salahuddin being clever the way he is, he's actually has put a lot of different things in the private chat on here. So you know what, Salahuddin, mashallah, man, I didn't realize you had so many. I noticed you put Tawheed first, But anyway, let's go through some of yours, Salahuddin, because I'm thinking about conscious of time. Let's go through some of yours, and then we'll go through some of the audience ones as well. Salahuddin. Take me through one of them. Choose one.
Bismillah. So we had training. So we next one was teamwork. An essential part of doing any sort of outreach or dawah work is that you need to have a solid team. You know, with an amir or an amira, you had team as well. Yeah, mashallah. You know, and basically everyone has their roles and their responsibilities.
Good.
Everyone knows exactly what they're doing, and so it's clear. You know, when you're going out to do. And I'm sure when you went to Banbury, Nadeem, you had, you know, a team there with roles and responsibilities. Everyone knows what they were doing, and then they were focused. You know, so you're focusing on the main objective of doing dawah, and just being organized like that is so essential in being effective in terms of doing street dawah, inshallah. So. And that's good as well when you have teamwork as well. You know, it motivates you. Motivation is an essential part when you give people responsibilities, and then you basically thank them for the work that they're doing. You recognize the work that they're doing, you know, and you sort of showcase the work that they're doing as well. And it so really helps maintain a team. So that was one.
Bro, teamwork makes the dream work, right?
Yeah.
And you know one thing I will say on this as well. I'm not just talking about, and there's a comment there by Basil Omar there as well. Teaming up with other groups. This is what I wanted to comment on as well. Actually, is not just having your own team within, but brothers and sisters, work with other people. Work with other, and when I say work with other people, let me quantify that. Let me qualify that as well. Work with people who are like-minded, right? People who have the same understanding, the same objective, the same wavelength as you. Do not look. The dawah isn't like, you don't have a monopoly on the dawah, right? You don't own the dawah, right? So if there is another organization that is also doing the dawah work there, work with them. Why not? Yeah. The goal is the same. Now, when I'm saying this, I am, like I said, I am quantifying this by saying, you know, make sure you work with people who are like-minded as you, right? That's my only thing, and I've just learned. And I only say this because that is something I've learned throughout the years. All right. Yeah. Now I'll give you a really good example. IDC, the organization that I volunteer for, we set up the Islamic Diversity Center here in the northeast of England, Newcastle. The first dawah organization, the only full-time dawah organization in the northeast, right? When KHAIR came on the scene, we worked with KHAIR. Of course we did. We worked very closely with KHAIR.
Still are, yeah.
And still are. And we've built that relationship with them. We work very closely with yourselves, other individuals, other organizations. Even this stream right now that you're probably watching this on is probably being watched on a different channel. Dawah Motivation even. Jordan M's channel, you're watching it on different channels, right? Because the objective is the same and people are like-minded. And that's all I'm saying when it comes to teamwork. I think this is an important part of the teamwork. So yeah, that's just something to add to that.
I want to add something on team and teamwork, is that a few points. Number one, if you are part of a dawah stall team, or if you're about to join a team, always try and strengthen the team. Because a lot of brothers and sisters, you're busy dunya, because people get enthusiastic, things happen, life happens, you get busy. So always think of a contingency, have someone who can take your place, and always think of recruiting. One of the things the stalls don't do is expand the team. So it's nice to have that, oh well, if I leave it, it's the end of that. No, think the dawah must continue. The dawah stall must continue. If you're going to be busy for the next 6 months, you can go study. That's the old one, isn't it? That kills the dawah stall. Where's the brother going? He's off to study for 6 months, for a year, 2 years, and that's it. End of stall. So while you're there, you're giving dawah to non-Muslims. But if you see practicing Muslims, this is the beauty of street dawah, right? This is I mean, there's so many good things about street dawah. You're going to see all sorts of people go in front of you. Non-Muslims, all sorts of non-Muslims, Muslim youth, but also practicing Muslims. And maybe that's also a good place to recruit them. To tell them about this beautiful, amazing action. Okay, maybe they don't want to become in front of the stall because it's not for everyone, but at least support the team. So that's number one, that always recruit, build the team. Secondly, all the people that are online now, you've been following our show for a while now, mashallah. The A to Z has been going for months, alhamdulillah. And I hope that, one of the objectives is to motivate you to get involved in calling to Allah. So I would say you guys should now step up and be part of the team. Be part of the Dawah Hour team, support it. They need promotions, they need sharers, they need designing, they need all sorts of work, producing. Some people I've been seeing they've been coming every week. You probably do better producing job than these guys by with all due respect. Yeah, I'm just joking. Mashallah, fantastic job. But you guys see how it works now. How there's a link, there's a chat, there's a comment. So if you cannot be involved in Street Dawah, support the Street Dawah team.
Yes.
Support this thing. So be part of this team, join the team, or find out who your local Dawah team and support it. Maybe not being in the front of the table, but be, as you said, like be part of the team. Find out who it is. So teamwork is very. And last, I've always enjoyed doing Dawah with a team, bro. I've done stores on my own a few times. It's not a nice experience. It's not. It's even though as much I love Street Dawah, as you guys know, when you're on your Jack Jones and your J's, it's not a nice. It's beautiful. It's amazing with other brothers there, and especially when you've had a 2-3 hour stall, and then sometimes we have a munch afterwards. It's beautiful. It's an amazing experience. We share how the experience was. So these are some points on team. Alhamdulillah.
I like that, bro. Alhamdulillah, I do like that. Dr. Suleiman, Jazakallah khair. Recruitment is a challenging thing. Any hints on recruitment? You got to go to the right places, bro.
Job center, no.
No, I think you're absolutely right. Recruitment, volunteering is always a thing that most people have difficulty with.
Yeah, it's the hardest
organization here in Newcastle. I mean, what we've tend to have done is, to be honest with you, when people have seen our stuff, or like they'll see us in the city centre, they'll see the work that we do, and they want to get involved. And another thing is, to be honest with you, a lot of things is going to those places like the masajid. If you're in a position where you can give khutbahs and you can talk to people, you can give a khutbah on Dawah and ask if people are interested in getting involved in Dawah. We work very closely with the the Islamic societies, the local masajid. Those are the places that I would say that you're going to get a lot of people who are going to be interested in the Dawah. And to be honest with you, what you'll find is a lot of these individuals want to get involved in Dawah. They just don't know how. Yeah. But if you're an outlet for them, then they'll go, yeah, okay, I want to go there and I want to find out more, and maybe get involved that way, inshallah. So, Dr. Suleiman, I hope that answers your question, inshallah. Let's move on. Let's take one from the audience. Well, Hassan, let's go with one from the audience, man. What you got? T is for talk.
Talk.
Swallow. T is for talk, right? So, Johnny.
Yes, bro.
Talk, bro.
That's true. Yeah. Obviously, look, Dawah is all about. It's not all about talking. Sometimes it's no talking is the biggest Dawah.
Don't say it's an example. Don't.
No. I'm saying like sometimes we can give Dawah by not talking to people, just showing the manners. That's true. And obviously, when you're talking to people, try to listen to them what they're trying to say. And I remember, subhanallah, this is a good thing you remember. It's been haunting me it's been 1 year. So there was one person I was talking to in a city center. So she had a really genuine some questions, and me, I just keep going and talking to her this and that, and then she just got kind of lost. And like she just like was listening to me, and then she just walked away.
Oh, she wanted to go to Johnny. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Listen, all I'm saying. So when I was talking, I was not conscious. So you have to be conscious, very spiritually conscious that other person, where they're coming from. Like like you said, when you are experienced Dai, you've been dealing with the people. When you speak to people, you know where they're coming from. You literally know. So you just have to pay attention, be clear in your talk. That's all. It's just clear.
Good. So there was a comment there. A sister mentioned, yeah, talk, but not so much. I think that's basically the point Johnny's making. Talk, but not so much. All right, guys. Anything else on talk?
Yeah, talk. But talk, but not aimlessly. The talk needs to lead somewhere. So
yeah,
a lot of brothers just go on different weird tangents, and then they need to. Again, it comes with experience. Once you overcome the first enthusiasm. But absolutely, you have to talk. It's the whole. Again, if you're new to the stall, you've enjoyed it, but you maybe not that confident. yeah, at first you can just give out flyers, just say hello, whatever. After a few weeks, once you get used to it, once you feel the air, as I say, of the dawah, the atmosphere, the whole experience, then you can start talking. And once you start talking, you won't shut up probably. So, but yeah, absolutely talk. But at some point, your target has to be that you need to start talking about Islam and not just giving out leaflets for a few weeks or months, because you're not going to enjoy it and you're going to leave the dawah. Talking is important because just yesterday I had a dawah training session, and one sister from Chicago, I was so happy when she said this when we were discussing about dawah. She goes, I thought the best way to give dawah is to be an example. She goes, I've been example to my colleagues. She works in one place for 10 years. For 10 years, I've been an example. Not one, forget about Shahada, not one person asked me about Islam. And I was showing, I thought, and she goes, this is my 10-year plan. And I was like smiling. I was like, yes. She was like, 10 years, brother. I'm like, she works in some education office in Chicago. And nobody asked the question. And until I attended one of your sessions, Brother Nadeem, and he said, go today, ask the question to them. They've seen your example now. They've seen your example. Today's the day you're going to go up to someone, whatever, here's the file, here's the facts or whatever. Right. What do you think of Islam? Just ask them. Because you know what it is, with this may be off subject slightly, and I'm going against what I just said about talking on and on, but inshallah it's beneficial, is that when you ask the question, fundraising and dawah is very similar.
Yeah.
People want to give money, but until you actually ask them, they will not give it. It's like, it's like a WhatsApp status. You put a WhatsApp status about like donate to Dawah Hour, donate to Stream Islam, and they've all seen it. You can see people have seen it, 100 people. Until you give them the VIP, go to their private message and message them and say, do you want to donate? Go, yeah, of course, £100. There you go. So
bro, what's that all about, man?
Why couldn't you just see the status of it? Because people, they want to give. The way I analyzed it, people want to give, but until you ask them verbally, they will not give. And the same with the dawah, I think. People want to accept, this is the psychology of the da'i. People want to accept the truth. They want to accept Islam. But until the da'i will call them, they will probably never accept Islam.
100%.
They're waiting for the invitation. Yeah, everybody loves that they want that special invitation to Islam. So yeah, that's why verbal calling is important.
It is madness because it's probably a psychology thing, right? You're absolutely right, bro. Like you just said about the WhatsApp groups. So my brother is big on this. My brother is massive on this, right? He will, because he'd be like, well, have you like? There's an event going on, right? And he'd be like, right, have you told the volunteers? Yeah, I WhatsApp the group. Yeah. And he's like, did you message them privately? Did you call them? In fact, not message them. Did you call them?
Yes.
Did you pick up?
He always said that.
Did you call them and speak to them directly? He's like, nah.
That's exactly my style.
Honestly, there is something about that, bro. It's something about like a blanket email, a blanket message. People ignore, but when you actually call somebody, that actually does. It actually registers a lot more. SubhanAllah. So what you've just said there was very profound in the sense that you can just give blanket leaflets or whatever, but unless you're calling people, unless you actually make the call, you can be good as an example, but unless you're actually giving the call, it's a difference, man. It's a big difference.
It happened in Banbury again. I was speaking on and on. One guy, it's intuition. Like there were 3 non-Muslims and 2 free Muslim youth. It was a mixed group. So one of them, just by intuition, I could say his eyes were like, oh wow, like that wow moments, because I was talking about the prophecies and that kind of thing. He's like. So I just say to him, look, bro, I went to him. I ignored it once. I just zoned everyone out. He's my target. I said, mate, what I'm saying, does it make sense? He goes, yeah, mate. I go, are you ready to accept Islam? Let's do it. He goes, right, yeah. I mean, he was just about to say, but then subhanAllah, what happened was a load of that gang of 4 became 8 all of a sudden. And they were like rowdy gang, and somehow that kind of maybe put him off. But I did take his details afterwards, inshallah. But until I could have just chatted to him and gone, I have to say to him, so are you ready to take the Shahada? Do you want to accept Islam now? So you have to do that verbal invitation, inshallah.
Good.
That's true.
Good, alhamdulillah. Let's move on, bro. I'm conscious of time.
Tarbiyah, what about Tarbiyah?
Are you just going to come in like that, bro? And Salahuddin's got a full list, man. Just
No. I don't take Salahuddin, bro.
All right, go on, Johnny. Mufti Johnny, go on.
Tarbiyah.
No, no, I think obviously, but this is one of the things that we take from the Messenger of Allah when he got the revelation. But the war was the first thing. So obviously, Allah Subhanahu wa Taala was telling him, wake up in the night and be connected with Allah Subhanahu wa Taala. This is the biggest thing. Like, I cannot connect someone with Allah Subhanahu wa Taala if I myself not connected with Allah Subhanahu wa Taala. Obviously, I need to work.
What's the T? Sorry, what's the T?
Tarbiyah.
Tarbiyah. Okay, good.
Tarbiyah, bro.
Good, very
get
good.
The tarbiyah. You have to get a spiritual tarbiyah, and then obviously you get trained and you learn. There is endless, because dawah is like a lifetime. You keep learning every single day. But the most important things, like we take the lessons from the Sirah, because there is no other better way you can convey the message of Islam than the Messenger of Allah and what Allah taught us. That's tarbiyah. You need to be connected with Allah, and you need to get that Quran and the lessons from the Messenger of Allah implemented in your life. Like I heard from my teacher, like he said, like, you can never connect someone when you yourself not connected. How can you do that? Good. So I mean, the tarbiyah is one of the prime. I think yeah, that's the one.
Jordan M trying to be clever.
Jordan's asking, has Tawheed been mentioned? Jordan, bro, we forgot.
No, we actually haven't discussed that. So maybe Jordan M, if he doesn't mind coming on, that'd be
Bismillah,
nice.
man.
Yeah.
Jordan's always welcome. Jordan joined. Jump on, man.
Tell us about.
But we forgot to mention it. It was supposed to be our first one, subhanAllah. But yeah, we have mentioned it. But yeah, join Jordan. Come and join us, bro. Alhamdulillah. Salahuddin, come on, man. You've got loads to go through, and we've got to go through the audiences as well. What are you waiting for? Salahuddin, come on.
Bismillah. Yalla.
So yeah, the next one I had was timeliness.
Timeliness.
Yeah, timeliness. So this is a number of different ways. Obviously, first and foremost, obviously being part of a team. You know, when you're doing your dawah stall and you're out there, to make sure obviously you're on time, you know, and you stick to the agreed times. But more so, what I mean by timeliness is when you're talking in the conversation. You have to understand, when you're talking to people on the street, you know, they haven't come out for a preaching session, right? They've come out probably to either meet someone or, you know, just out, they're doing some shopping. So they don't have much time. So you have to be conscious of these elements, that, you know, you don't become sort of annoying to the person. They're just patiently, pleasantly, you know, just listening to you. So, you know, you have to be aware that you don't, you know, sort of annoy them. So you're taking up all of their time on the street. So timeliness is very important, and I guess that comes from experience and speaking to the person, you know, asking them if they're in a rush, and you want to try and continue the conversation beyond that. So timeliness is essential when you're doing outreach. I don't know if you guys want to add to that.
I think you've said most of the stuff on that. I think when it comes to timeliness, for me, it's all about just choosing like you kind of said, just choosing your time carefully, choosing what you say, when you say it very carefully, and being aware of it, bro. I think a lot of people are not aware of it sometimes. We want to go into what we want to say and without thinking about that. Yeah.
Maybe so, smaller level is street dawah. Maybe look at what time you start and finish, because sometimes you don't want to go too early in the morning where there's not enough people in the streets, in the marketplaces.
Yeah, good point.
Maybe check the time. You know, if it's afternoon. What's really interesting, like in Banbury, again using that as a recent example, we went there twice. It's our third visit. Before we were told that the busiest is around 1 till 3, something like that. It dies down. But what we noticed is that this time when we did it late, and because we got late from the training, we had far more conversations when the stragglers, the people who are so when it's busy, people are going to pass the stall. But when it was much more quiet, people are actually stopping easier, much more than before. So you got to look at the timing and maybe have some tactics, inshallah. But yeah, look at the timing of when you do the stall.
Good. Salahuddin, give me another one, man.
Can I give you a controversial one?
I never know with you, bro.
So so one that's very common when you're speaking on the streets is terrorism, right? So he's gone.
That's actually worse. That's actually worse doing that.
I know. I realized that after I did it. Go on, talk to me.
Bait.
So this is obviously
transparent, bro.
Go on.
very important when you're dealing with members of the public, because there's a lot of misconceptions in terms of Islam. There's a lot of bad media out there, and one of the first things that comes to a non-Muslim's mind when they're talking about Islam is terrorism. Why are Muslims terrorists? Why are they doing all of these atrocities around the world? Does Islam promote terrorism? Is this what Islam teaches? Is this what the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ teaches? And it's important that you're able to engage and demonstrate that this is completely the opposite of what Islam teaches, because they have perceptions in their mind, and you need to clear those perceptions, because I remember one sheikh saying that there's levels to doing dawah, and sometimes in certain situations you're like in -20, right? So you have to remove -20 misconceptions before you can get onto a level playing field, and then demonstrate and explain what Islam is.
Right. Finished?
Over to you.
So the reason why I did that was because there's a few things, right? I'm going to challenge this one a little bit, right? And the reason I'm challenging this because actually something happened to me once when I did this, right? So in the one of the Islamic societies that had the Discover Islam Week, two guys sat down on the table and I started talking to them, right? And there was a sister who was listening in, and I said to the guys, I was like, I know you probably may have lots of different questions, things about maybe terrorism, Muslims and terrorism and all that kind of stuff. And then I just went into it and I explained and I clarified misconceptions. They left, right? It was a good discussion. They left. The sister came to me afterwards and said, "Brother Sohail, why did you do that? Why did you start with terrorism? Why did you start talking about terrorism?" I was like, because everyone's got this misconception that Muslims are terrorists. Obviously, that's why, right? Put man like Jordan on, yeah. Let's see what man like. Bring him on, bro. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum. I think I came on the wrong tee.
No.
You probably did, bro.
Forever in your car, bro.
I know.
You live there. Have you got
This
a bed
is the
at the
time
back?
I drive home. This is the time I drive home.
Your bedroom there, your kitchen there, always in your car.
So yeah, she said to me, "Why did you talk to him about that?" I'm like, "Look, this is the misconceptions, right?" But here's the thing, Salahuddin, right? Is while I'm like, it's an interesting word. Unfortunately, that's what people have that perception. But my problem is that we've now connected Islam and terrorism together because we're the ones that are talking about it more than anyone else.
Yeah.
Why are we the ones talking about it like all the time?
No. My point was when they bring it up. When they bring it up.
We've now associated that word in people's minds with Islam. It may already be in their minds. Maybe we don't know that for sure, right? Probably is, right? Let's be honest. But I think what we need to do is start disassociating that from their minds, right? Stop. Why are we talking about that side of things when we should be talking about the other side of things that actually make and talk about Islam as the good?
I want to get even more controversial. Let's go deep.
So listen, that's just my.
I want to go deep. I want to go even more deeper.
That's quite interesting.
Let's make it even more controversial since you heat it up, right? Let's increase the temperature.
I didn't heat it up
because this is street dawah, and we're being transparent as we agreed. There are teams in the UK that have banners with this as their central focal point.
Why? Salahuddin, why? Why are you doing that, Salahuddin?
It's just not me.
Why though? So Salahuddin, what were you going to say? Sorry.
No, I said, well, you made a very interesting point, and it's very important, But at the end of the day, that misconception, that perception is there. Maybe Jordan can maybe give us his perspective from, coming from that sort of background. It's like, I'm not saying that we bring it up.
What terrorism background?
No, I mean from a non-Muslim perspective.
I know.
So, yeah, I agree with you. We shouldn't bring it up, but it's something that we need to be well versed with when we're challenged on this. What do you think?
Right. Sorry, Jordan, go on.
Yeah, I think it's a good point because obviously I remember as a non-Muslim looking into Islam, even though I wasn't silly enough to think that all Muslims are terrorists, I was always very keen to know what Muslims actually thought of ISIS, what they thought of the. I was very keen to know because, you don't really know. You understand that ISIS are Muslim, these are Muslims. And unfortunately, the media does paint the two together in a way, doesn't it? And it's been very, very cleverly done over the last couple of decades. And I think the normal British person if you mention the word terrorist, they're going to think of a Muslim, and it's probably quite a good thing to unravel to them in Dawah.
Yeah, that's Dave, isn't it, Dave?
Exactly.
You know what? I don't. I'm not saying you're wrong. I do think that's the case. But I'm in my head. Look, I mean, look. Whenever in my head, I'm just this thought that just popped in my head. Yeah, you know when like these presidents and prime ministers, whatever, they have a scandal, right? They never talk about the scandal. They'll always talk about something else to just like because they want to dissociate themselves from that scandal. Whenever someone's had an affair or I don't know what else, having parties in number 10 or whatever, yeah, they'll not talk about that stuff. They'll just say, look, and show the stuff like just because they can disassociate themselves from it. And I just feel that that's what we need to do as Muslims. Like that word, unfortunately, has stuck with us, and I think we've got a part to play in that. I feel not that. Obviously, I'm talking about people who actually do those warped acts and all the rest of it. I'm not talking about them, but we who talk about this stuff, and we're always constantly talking about this stuff all the time. I think we can move away from that and not associate. Like honestly, that was a big lesson for me when that sister said to me, Why did you start talking about terrorism? Why you start like clarifying that when I don't think it needed to be done? And she's got a point in it. She had a really, really powerful point, and that's subhanAllah. I just thought after that, and the thing was, me being me at the time, my ego got in the way, and I was like, no, it needs to be done. Absolutely needs to be done because look, this is what they think of that. This is what they think of us.
But you know,
now,
also,
I'm thinking, no, I don't think so.
Going with being truthful and transparent as well. We have got, you know, like I always say, Islam is perfect, Muslims are not, and we have bad eggs, and that's something we should. I'm really honest about that. You know, we have idiots, we have foolhardy people, we have extremists, and we can't say no. They do exist. You know, ISIS and other places. So we say no, but that's going against the teaching of Islam. If they're doing things out of anger, they're doing this out of a place of ignorance. They're doing out of twisting verses and hadith. So that's not Islam. Islam is this is what Islam is, and that's what I think you can be transparent. But yeah, I think not to dwell upon it too much. You need to go to the actual Dawah conversation.
This is a good point here by Apex Predator, right? To be honest, I've been in 1,000 English homes because of my work. Those feelings are gone. People are sharper and more alert to the media's manipulation. And you know, that's so true. I always say it on the Dawah stall as well. I say, it's so refreshing to see people who can see beyond the headlines. And I think sentiments have changed and sentiments are changing. You know, subhanAllah, when an attack happens now, people don't just go Muslims, right? It's not like, oh, it's terrorism, things like that. Because like, unfortunately, there's people are doing no terrorism doesn't have a name anymore, right? It's all a religion. Terrorism has no religion. It's never had a religion, right? And people are doing acts of terror in all these different people's names or religions, whatever else. But I think people are seeing beyond that now, and people can see beyond that now. Most people, obviously, I think you still got your Daves of the world that maybe don't. But yeah, subhanAllah.
Yeah, right. I read a book recently called Presumed Guilty, and it's basically asking Muslims to condemn terrorism, how it's an unfair question in itself. And I think it's quite a good thing to possibly, if someone, I would never bring it up. If someone asks me, I'd probably explain to them why it's an unfair question, because you've assumed that it's Islamic. You've assumed that Muslims don't talk out against it. And part of it I feel is like a kind of a guilt, because obviously a Westerner knows what the West has done to the Middle East. There's kind of a bit of a guilt in there as well, and to be honest, I try and avoid those, because I've seen a lot of people in Dawah start saying, "Well, you lot bomb, you're the terrorists." I think you got to avoid that language as well.
Exactly, bro.
Just move on from this as soon as you can.
Why are we going down?
You know what they say. Did you know you have more trust? So I'm going more. So that means we do. So you're admitting guilt then.
Yeah.
Look. Let me tell you statistics. Okay, you guys have committed more terrorism act. The American foreign policy. And so you just admitted. Oh, we've done it, but you do more.
Yeah, but you're worse than us. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So Nadeem, thank you for that controversial one, mate.
Yeah. Cheers, mate. Patel.
Thanks as I come on. You bring that up.
Yeah, Jordan, have you got one for us? Have you got a speed Dawah? Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking I had a couple, but I thought truth. I don't know if you've had truth yet. I thought that was quite a good one.
We had transparency, but go on, truth.
What's your take on the truth, bro? With a capital T.
I think truth was sometimes we can talk about Islam like it's a religion, like it's something else, and I think telling them that that it's actually the truth you're giving them. I feel was quite an important thing. Tawheed was done, wasn't it? I came on a bit late.
So we should have started with Sohail, bro. We all should have started with Sohail. We didn't, but yeah, it was done. It was done.
But I think, look, for me, the training that because and maybe training's another one.
That was the first
I feel
one.
that I feel that is that already done, was it?
Go on, keep going.
Are you not watching the show, bro?
I came in late. I watch him the next day, unfortunately. But yeah, for me, the Dawah training I went on, without that, because it really gives you a sort of a formula, the GoRap method to go back to oneness of God, is so critical. With all these questions you get about terrorism, Aisha, you can get all sorts of questions and you get wrapped up on it. Even why do Muslims have beards, and you can start talking about it. When really the crux is, do they believe in God? Do they believe in the oneness of God? And taking it along that way. So I recommend the training. 𝐅𝐼R. I don't know if you guys do a training course, but the 𝐅𝐼R one's fantastic.
The training, yeah, the 𝐅𝐼R one is the main one that we.
Oh, this guy, this is Mr. Trainer himself, Sohail. Mashallah. He's the one who does all those notes and wonderful notes and slideshow. Mashallah, it's him. So make dua for him, bro.
Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. We've got another guest, friendly Muslim.
Mashallah.
We need a friendly.
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam.
Going from a very serious matter now to a more light-hearted matter, I'd like to quickly bring to your attention. The word is take care, with a hyphen in it. I'm going to give you two very quick examples. So the first one is the first one is my mother. We'll call her mother friendly at the moment. She's in hospital at the moment. She's in her ward. It's about 10 o'clock at night. There's a nurse walking around, and she stumbles on a chair, and my mother reaches her arms out and says, Bismillah, and catches her. And so this nurse ends up in her arms, and the nurse says, I haven't heard that. Thank you for catching me in a long while. And my mother says, are you Muslim? She says, no, my father was a Muslim. My mother is Christian. And, they had problems. They got divorced. And, I've moved further away from God. And my mother says, well, maybe Allah had never moved away from you. And that's what helped me catch you today. So, and the woman broke down in tears. They hugged. The nurse carried on with her day. The next day she came over to my mother and she said, Auntie, do you think we could maybe do some dua together or, read some Quran together? So mother friendly messaged me. I then from last week shared. So I shared the Quran online with her. And mashallah, every day this week, they've been saying dua, they've been reading the Quran, and she is coming back to the fold of Islam. So take care. So in that one instance, taking care, this sister is now coming back to Allah. My second story, very quickly, is a Christian Colombian sister called Catherine. She is a receptionist stroke administrator. It's a tough time with COVID. She's looking for a job. She goes to a pizza place for a job as a pizza receptionist, order taker, head lady. She goes for the interview. It doesn't really go that well. She walks around the corner and she gets a phone call saying, you're not really right for the job. She's having a hard day. It's hot. She starts feeling a bit dizzy. As she's, sort of stumbling, a sister comes behind her and catches her and says, take a seat. Can I get you a water? And let me get you a bottle of water. It's a hot day. Take a step, sit down on this step. The sister goes in to get some water for her. This sister Catherine, in that moment, the call to prayer comes out. And at that moment, she knows God is calling her. And it changed her, like completely. The way I came across her, she heard the call to prayer. And at that very moment, she knew that God was calling her. The sister comes out with a bottle of water, calls her and says, here's your water. She said, what is that? I can't, what's that sound? Where are we? She was sitting on the steps of a mosque and she didn't realize it. The sister takes her, they go inside. 4 days later, she takes her shahada. She becomes a Muslim. After that, she gets a phone call for a job interview. And when she does a shahada, they give her a headscarf. She goes for the whole weekend goes by now. It's a Friday. On the Monday, she's got the job interview. She's not sure whether to wear the scarf or not, and she's going backwards and forwards. I'm just coming into Islam. Shall I wear my scarf? She goes, you know what? I am going to wear my scarf. She goes to the interview. After the interview, she gets a call a couple of hours later, and they say, unfortunately, we don't think you're right for the position. This is not the right job for you. However, we have another position in another location, and you came across so reserved, so well, and so in control. We really feel that you're better suited for this administrator position. It's more money, but it's in a different location. Well, can we send you over the location? She gets the location. She says, yes, I'll take the job. The job is opposite the mosque that she went to, and her life has changed now. She's a Latino sister. She's giving dawah. She goes to the mosque in the morning before work, at lunchtime, afterwards. She's big in the community. And so two acts of taking care in the last 2 weeks that I've come across have led people to Allah again. So that would be my word.
Beautiful.
Incredible.
Beautiful.
Incredible. MashaAllah.
Muslim. Alhamdulillah, that was two beautiful stories.
I had a devious tactic now for street dawah, bro. Put out your leg at the stall, and before they fall over, catch them.
Yeah, that's it, man. I think you mentioned that mum was in hospital. I pray his mum gets
devious tactics, isn't it?
Yeah, let's do it, bro. That's the new tactic for the dawah. Yeah. Right, guys, I've just realized it's past the hour, man. We didn't get through our teas. We didn't get through our tea.
Tea for time's up.
Another part 2 on this. So again, Nadeem?
No, Salahuddin put tea for time's up.
Tea for time's up, yeah. All right, alhamdulillah. So yeah, let's do another part 2, guys. We have to do we're trying to get through this A to Z. We're still going on, alhamdulillah. So we'll have another part. There we go. Time's up. We'll have a part 2, inshallah, of this. Let me go through final thoughts from everyone first. Nadeem?
Final thoughts? No, alhamdulillah. If we talk about tea, it's been a good one. Alhamdulillah, a lot of words. So yeah, as usual, may Allah accept this stream. May Allah make this stream as a means to motivate people to get involved in this beautiful action, and maybe this could be a stream that could open their hearts to come to Islam as well, inshallah.
Inshallah. Jazakallah khair. Nadeem?
Yeah, mashallah, another amazing show. Mashallah, some great guests and some great stories. So really looking forward to continue this next week. So may Allah bless you guys and see you guys next week, inshallah.
Jazakallah khair. Jordan, final words from you, bro.
Yeah, for the last 10 minutes that I saw, brilliant stream. I'll watch the rest tomorrow. But no, I think the street dawah, I've been to Speakers Corps and done other bits. I've done a street dawah once, and it was the hardest thing I've ever done. So I think it's something we should all do. If you really want to hone your skills in dawah, that's where it is, man. A whole day of street dawah, trying to stop people that are trying to get to work and get on with their day. I've seen Nadeem's tricks on stopping people and all that. And I definitely want to try and come down to Newcastle one day and be on the store. I'd love to do that.
Inshallah, bro. When we do the 24-hour one, yeah, you come down, yeah.
Yeah, let me know when it is, and I'll pop down.
Yeah, we'll jump. I'll jump in, bro. We'll do a little.
Man. Hopefully, inshallah, in the summer we're gonna plan on doing one in the summer, inshallah.
Yeah, I'll do the tripping up. You do the catching, Nadeem, and we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. Jordan, what's this day one? Talk to me about this day one.
Oh yeah, so I was speaking to Smalta Jano, and I see it. Obviously, I don't have a cameraman, and I'm rubbish at editing, so everything's on my phone. But it was to go to places in England where there maybe aren't many Muslims, and take Dave and actually interview them about Islam. Say, what do you think about these Muslims, and maybe get some information. And then afterwards, obviously, the idea is to then reveal to them that I'm actually a Muslim. Then maybe give them some material, trying to go through the misconceptions. I mean, I might get beaten up. I might get who knows, but I thought it was I thought it'd be a good idea. And obviously, I've got to do it. I'm not going to try and mock people. The idea is, Dave is kind of, a little bit ignorant of Islam, and I think it'll be an interesting, because a lot of people they're not haters, they're just ignorant of Islam.
Yeah.
And I think it'd be really good clearing up these kind of misconceptions.
I agree, man. That's a good one, man. Inshallah, when are you starting it?
Well, I've just put a thing out for, so if anyone out there is wants to come as a cameraman and can edit, then I'll be ready to book some weekends in different
There you
places.
go, man. There you go. Let's get Dave on tour, guys. Alhamdulillah. All right, guys, on that note, inshallah, we'll finish here. Jazakumullah khairan to you all. Jazakumullah khairan to all of the people who have been watching and tuning in and all of your contributions. Tune in next week and we'll continue with this part 2 of Street Dawah A to Z, continuing with the letter T, inshallah, and we'll finish there. Jazakumullah khairan. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdik. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa ant. Astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.